Hey YouTube, so now it's time to review the most expensive dining experience of my life so far, the one and only Victoria and Albert's restaurant at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. Obviously, this restaurant is legendary among Disney goers and non-Disney goers as well, because last year on TripAdvisor, it was the second best reviewed restaurant worldwide. Oh, sorry, in the US, not worldwide. But still, that's pretty much impressive. So I wasn't sure I wanted to spend that kind of money, but I thought, you know what? I'm here with one of my best friends. It's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Let's go for it. So, of course, the first thing that you notice when you step in the Grand Floridian Hall is how beautiful it is. It's very, very posh. Personally, I wouldn't want to stay there myself. If I was ever to stay in a deluxe resort, I would much rather go to the Polynesian Resort or the Boardwalk or Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's beautiful but a bit cold for me. That said, enjoy the views before we go in a restaurant. This is a stunning place to visit, at least, for sure. So now we make our way to the first floor, and side to side you have Citricos and Victoria and Albert's. Once you step in, you notice, of course, the current 5-diamond award that they receive basically every year. I think it's been like 10 years in a row they've been receiving this award. So you know you're in for something special. The restaurant itself is not so large. We were in the main dining room. You can also reserve I can't remember the name of it now, but there's a separate smaller dining room, more intimate, and you can also go for the chef's table, which is the most expensive option, of course. That said, the menu we got was $235 per guest. Chef's table is $250 per guest, so it's not a massive difference. So if you have the opportunity to go for the chef's table, go for it. I tried to get it, but it was always sold out. I mean, it was booked every date I tried, and I was there for 2 weeks. So, quick view of the restaurant. I didn't take many pictures of the place itself. I just wanted to focus on what was going to be in my plate. So, without further ado, let's go through the 10 courses on the chef's tasting menu. So we start with the amuse-bouche, which was a cauliflower panna cotta with imperial caviar. So the caviar you can see obviously on the left. They gave us a pearl spoon to eat it with. It was very fresh, delicious, creamy. A small dish, but it's just an amuse-bouche, so it was perfect to get started. The second dish was one of the most interesting. Alaskan king crab with watermelon and finger limes. So I know from the picture you're like, where's the king crab? You can see this white bit of meat over the watermelon, and it's all covered with like a translucent ravioli. I'm not sure. I think that's the thing that was made with limes, the finger limes they mentioned. This was surprising, super fresh. The ravioli actually melted in your mouth, leaving this lime taste, wrapping itself over the king crab and the watermelon. Delicious. For the third dish, we had this roasted sable fish with baby bok choy and coconut curry broth. Again, this was good. This was not one of my favorite. I thought it was just fine. It was not mind-blowing. But that said, as anything else on this course, you're not going to complain with anything you're being served. You just go along for the ride, and wait with anticipation for the next dish, which in this case, the next one was one of my favorites. This was a New Zealand langoustine with nage crema, so don't ask me what that means, I have no idea. But what I do remember is that the tail was served, you had one tail that was cooked and one that was half cooked. So you had the end of the tail that was cooked and the fleshy part that was raw. And it was an interesting combination for sure. Very nice, very tasty. This was the Marcho Farms Veal en crêpe, and this was one of my favorites. You can notice on top of the veal, so basically the veal was served perfectly cooked, wrapped in a truffle flavored crêpe, so that's the black film you see on the side. And then they came with this massive black truffle and shaved it generously on top of it. So it was quite a lot of truffle and it was delicious. Then I love duck, and I was lucky because this is the smoked Rohan duck with Fuji apples and celery root. Again, I love duck, so you can't go wrong with duck. I would only survive on duck if I could. It's my favorite thing, and this was no exception. It was absolutely delicious as well. For the next dish, we had the Australian Kobe style beef with roasted garlic potatoes. Small amount of beef, but so juicy. Oh, it was rare. It was delicious. It was melting in your mouth. Now you had the option to, instead of going for that, to pay an extra $55 for the Miyazaki Japanese beef. We declined because it was expensive enough as it was. By the way, I forgot to mention that after the amuse-bouche, you could also add an extra dish of Osetra caviar for $105 or $210 depending on the amount, which was half an ounce or an ounce basically. Again, we declined to keep it I was about to say affordable, but the whole meal was not affordable. It was crazy expensive, as you'll see at the end. Okay, after this, what did we have? Well, yes, it was already the cheese course, so selection of cheese from the market. So they come over with this big rolling table completely full of cheese, and you can ask as many as you want, really. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think here. Little bits, but it was all delicious. Then the first dessert, which was the limoncello mango dome with blackberry violet. To be honest, by that stage, I was starting to feel a bit drunk because we also had the optional wine pairing. So that was already our 9th glass of wine. So I remember it was good, but I don't have a very, very good recollection of this dish itself. However, the last dish, which was this Peruvian chocolate crunch, I do remember that it was absolutely outstanding. So that was a good one to finish with. Before they serve the desserts, they bring to you this old-fashioned coffee pot, which I don't have a picture of anyway, but you can see it online, I'm sure, anywhere else. And they serve you at the end this Sulawesi Island coffee by Joffrey's. Joffrey's being, of course, the official coffee of Disney World. So very nice. I love a nice coffee after a big meal like this. And with the coffee, they come and serve you the friandises, which is a collection of chocolate and candies, and they give it to you in a little box to take away with you, or you can eat them at the table if you prefer. But it was nice to have a little takeaway to feast on later on, or actually the next day. So they give you one of each, if I remember correctly, or maybe not that many. I can't remember, but yeah, it was good. So the whole meal took us about 4 hours and something. Our dining reservation was at 7 p.m. and I believe we left around 1 a.m. So 9, 10, 11. Oh, I may be wrong there. Maybe it was 8 p.m. Yeah, but we left. It was, I think, half past midnight, 12:45, something like that. So it was a long time. But the really good thing is that the waiters were obviously amazing. The service was amazing. So we spent lots of time chatting with the waiter about each dish and about his job and the restaurant and the history of it. So that was a really nice touch. And now, when I said it was expensive, I wasn't lying. So, as I said, the menu was $235 per guest. So 2 of us, that's already too much. That was $470. And then the wine pairing was $150 per guest, so another $300. So that takes us to $770. You add the tax, $820. And then, of course, the tip. So we went for the 20% suggested tip because the service was mind-blowing. So that was another $154 on top of that, which gives us a total of $974 for 2 people, including tips. So that's what you have to think about if you're ever going to eat at Victoria and Albert. So roughly $1,000 for 2 people. Now, we were lucky enough to have Disney gift cards as part of our package because we traveled from the UK, and this was part of the offer when we booked. I booked a bit earlier than my friends, so I had the $200 card. He booked a bit later, so that dropped to $100. Still, that allowed us to subtract $300 from the total. So we were down then to $600 something, $650. And divided by 2, that was okay. I wouldn't say this meal would be worth $500 per person, but we ended up paying about $325 each, and for that price I think it was quite reasonable, because in London, if we go to a Michelin star restaurant, for instance, for 2 people, depending on the restaurant, we definitely gonna spend about that kind of money. So in that case, if you can get the gift card if you're traveling from the UK, I don't know if they do this offer for the US, but it was a very good use of the gift cards, basically. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I would say, for me, I would not go back, personally. I've been there, done that. I'd rather try more signature restaurants or go back to Flying Fish, because, again, even though it was a completely different experience, for the amount of money we paid at Flying Fish compared to here, and the delicious dishes we had at Flying Fish, which were not on the same level, obviously, but overall, for me, it was a better return on investment than this, strangely enough. I liked it. I didn't love it. Everything was good, everything was delicious, but not enough for me to say, well, I'm going back next trip for sure. So that was my review of Victoria and Albert at the Grand Floridian Resort. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you've been there and would like to leave your comments below to let me know your thoughts, please do not hesitate. I would love to read your own opinion on the restaurant. Until next time, take care.